Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday, and this week's theme, fight cane, cane like the wind, how to defeat a bigger, stronger, faster opponent. We're just assuming that they are. And listen, this is a topic that we covered just a couple of weeks ago at Fall Cane Immersion. It's a very popular topic, and there are other questions, so I'm going to do a quick follow-up and review, and you'll benefit from this. Before we do that, a warm welcome to those of you who are here, whether you're faithful followers of the Cane Fist Way or you're here for the first time. Two things you want to do straight up. If you haven't done it already, hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content. Avail yourself of the 2 free resources right now. Do this now so you don't forget. Text the letters CCC to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, we'll be on a phone call listening to you. What is it that attracts you about the cane? And if you're brand new, maybe you don't even own a cane yet, what should be your first cane? And more importantly, how are you going to get cane trained? Because this gives you potential, but you're going to need structure. There's a step-by-step way of doing all of this. And so from that call, you're going to walk out with a blueprint, something tangible that you can start applying immediately. That's number one. The second free resource you have, look at the description before. ACSD there's only one no-cost a Facebook group from ACSD, and that is, look it up, Cane Flow. And there's a link in the description, Cane Flow, move better, protect better, live better. Just request entry, they will let you right in. And so this whole concept of caning like the wind, you're looking at the elements, pretty breezy actually here in Miami, but the whole idea behind this is I'm going to use just one component that is reflective of that whole concept, and it's the quarter pivot. Look at the quarter pivot. I'll demo it for you. You may have seen ACSD caners moving around in here, and then there's this movement. Sometimes the movement is all the way and they'll come right back. It doesn't matter what the handling is, but you have this kind of movement, which is a blending type of movement off of a pivot. I want you to keep in mind, I always remind you, ACSD originally designed to deal with, yes, blade attacks and multiple assailants. So that's the first, I want to put it in that context. So Vanessa's going to come in here. She represents an assailant. Think now just that quarter pivot and the usefulness of when dealing with multiple assailants. So what I want to do ideally is be able to keep two individuals are coming in here, keep them in my 10 and 2 field of vision. If I just commit in here, right, and this other individual's coming in, or they're coming in from my blind side, that's not good. That's not going to be successful in this instance. That quarter pivot allows, see the pivot here, it allows me to stay close enough that I can actually do something, even though we're coming at a distance. Now, that's representative of a tool. I'll trade you, right? I'll put this down. I'll use the drone so she doesn't. But if she's coming in for a grab or whatever, then move, boom, here it is. She's coming in with a punch. Imagine that you have another individual coming here at the same time. Pop, pop, pop. And now that places her between you and the incoming attack. And that's one of the values of that blend. The second one would be when you're caught, right? Two hands on the cane, and somehow this happens, snuck up on you. And now there's two things that are going to start happening here. Either, oh, look at her, she's already starting to push, knock me off balance, maybe looking to draw me into a wall. Now, if he's bigger, stronger, faster, and you're still here after this push, you're not going to win this. Right? Tug of war, this to me is a tug of war. You're going to have to go ahead and do that quarter pivot, and do it, get a little closer so they can see this. Do it in a particular way. Oh, did you see how that kind of throws off her mechanics? I'm looking the same way, but and it's very difficult for her to keep her balance when you're coming from here to here. So keep that in mind when you see the flowing movements in here, because they're all designed to bring about that. All right. Yeah, she's coming back. Oh, she went. Another way of doing this, so we spoke about the tug of war, that's when she is pushing. What if she's pulling? Pulling, you would respond with an entry, but is there a place also for that kind of pivot? And the answer is yes. if I have my hand here and she goes ahead and moves, if I take this over and down, oh, see the pivot turn there as well. That's where the hand is coming from here, and you'll see this a lot, right? ACSD caners, you have this, right? You have this movement, you have this steering wheel, and then there's a switching up of the grip. That's the effect that it's going to have. And all of these can of course be done empty hand as well. And maybe I'll show you a little bit of that. But I want to show you the third way in which this happens. And this is when you have someone who's trying to take you to the ground. And you're listening to this, and I know our audience, right? Some of you say, hey, I can't be dealing, I have a concern for when this faster opponent just ducks down. Oh yeah, to take you down and knock you off your feet in there. So I'm going to show you just the movement here, but the movement is just to bring the cane in, and then this is your quarter pivot, right? With the cane, either hand, practice both sides, because you can't afford to have a non-dominant side for tactical applications. We don't need that. So I'm going to show this one from here. So I think you'll find it better. But you know, you were caught. All of a sudden she's here. Oh, and this situation happens. Or I'll show you another way that this can happen. She's grabbing onto the cane, and there's a struggle here, and then she lets go, and she goes right, and there come the arms, right? So you're gonna place this right across that temporal region, and you're gonna bring in, now I'm gonna be super gentle with this, and I want you to tap or say tap or whatever you wanna do. All I'm gonna do is wrap my fingers, and she's already tapping. Now keep in mind, wherever the head goes, the body has to follow. So once she's here comes that quarter pivot, and that's where you're going down, right? And now you can go ahead and incapacitate. I'm not the guy that's going to tell you once they're down, beat them to the head and do that. Only you can determine the seriousness of that assault. I always tell you guys, incapacitate so that you can get away. Incapacitate means, hey, take out the wheels so that they can't chase you. All these concepts, and again, the cane is what teaches the empty hand, but if you're looking at this, and I'll do it here, any type of attack that's coming in, so I'm dealing again with the multiple silence, she throws a strike, that's my way of blending, and then, of course, being able to do something about that, right, to control. Because if I can't control, this problem isn't going to go away by itself. The same way when I'm dealing, you know, with the hands here grabbed or whatever the case may be in the struggle, I get to come in, occupy my space, start robbing her of her balance. And even the one that's coming in here, if you recall, ACSD, the empty hand system, is all about clawing, all about, there's a vertical, we use that vertical fist and that thumb knuckle right on the top, so that when she comes in and you grab, it's that thumb knuckle, and you'll do the same thing, say tap or tap, goes right on that read, oh, and then it would be the same thing, right? We're going from here to turning in. So that's the translation of the cane to the empty hand, and that's not recent. That's been around from the moment I put this together 30 years ago. So that's always been the case with ACSD. Now, how do you learn this, right? Because you're watching these videos and you say, wow, I'm going to start applying this, but the hallmark of ACSD is structure. You're going to need a structure. You're going to need a step-by-step. You have to have the foundation. You have to have that alphabet first. We can deliver that training anywhere, and it's enjoyable. Just read the reviews. It's enjoyable, it's effective, and it's efficient. But you got to go ahead and do that. The first step, text those letters again, CCC, to 305-745-7839. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if this is something that will work for you, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. But thank you guys always for watching. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.